There's a reason experienced historians and survivalists still study the small, rugged tools carried by World War II soldiers. They weren't gimmicks, they were lifelines. And before we go any further, make sure you subscribe to the Iron Age Instincts so you don't miss deep dive breakdowns like this. Today, we're looking at a piece of kit that didn't get the glamour of a rifle or the reverence of a steel helmet. Yet it was the difference between freezing in a field and building a functional camp in hostile territory. This isn't nostalgia. This is a close look at a tool that earned its place through sweat, mud, and necessity. And if you spend time outdoors, you'll immediately see why it still matters. The entrenching tool became the soldier's lifeline because it solved every immediate problem in the field. The World War II entrenching tool, often called the E-tool, was far more than a folding shovel. It was a compact, all-metal, multi-purpose implement designed for digging, chopping, hammering, cutting roots, shaping shelters, and even self-defense when things went bad. Soldiers carried it strapped to their belts, not because regulations demanded it, but because every man in the field learned quickly that without it you were living at the mercy of the terrain. When you're on foot, under pressure and fighting fatigue, anything bulky becomes dead weight. The E-tool earned a place because it was the rare tool that always justified its weight. Its design allowed soldiers to turn unknown ground into usable ground within minutes. No matter what front a soldier found himself on, North Africa's hard pan, Italy's rocky vineyards, or the deep clay of Eastern Europe, there was always the same first task: carve out a footprint of safety. A foxhole wasn't just a hole. It was a heat shield, a blast shield, and a way to sleep without being silhouetted against the horizon. The E-tool let a soldier dig a quick shell scrape in about 30 seconds, deepen it into a fighting position in just a few minutes, and turn it into a functional overnight camp by dusk. That speed was everything. If you've ever backpacked and tried to set up shelter on hard earth without a tool, you understand instantly why the E-tool was indispensable. The sharpened edges gave it the function of an axe when every ounce really mattered. Armies learned quickly that soldiers just could not afford to carry a separate axe or hatchet, so many E-tools were issued with edges that could be sharpened. German troops in particular kept a shaving edge on theirs. With that, a single tool became a wood-processing workhorse. You could cut saplings, notch joints for shelter frames, trim stakes, and split thin logs for fire, all without carrying extra steel. If you've ever tried to build a lean-to using only a pocket knife, you'll understand how a sharpened E-tool instantly changes the equation. Cut what you need, stake the framework, and finish with branches or a tarp. The same method World War II patrols used to build quick observation posts can be used today to make a fast, sturdy shelter in a forest. Its compact build made it the ultimate fireside tool for long nights in the field. A fire in the field wasn't simply warmth, it was morale, a way to dry socks, sterilize water, and signal quietly within friendly lines. The E-tool helped dig fire pits that kept flames low and hidden from distant view. Soldiers carved Dakota-style fire holes long before the modern survival community rediscovered them. You can do the same in under 10 minutes. Dig 2 small holes side by side, connect them with a tunnel, feed the fire from one side, and let airflow come from the other. It creates a hotter burn with less smoke. This wasn't theory for WWII troops. This was nightly routine. It became a shelter builder because it let soldiers manipulate terrain, not fight it. One of the most overlooked aspects of WWII's fieldcraft is how often soldiers used earth itself as structure. A shallow trench, roofed with branches, turned into a functional sleeping bay. A raised mound became a windbreak. A few scoops in a hillside created a dry recess that kept gear out of the mud. With the E-tool, these weren't complex projects. They were 5-minute adjustments that meant the difference between misery and maintainable comfort. Modern survivalists can apply the same principles, create drainage channels around tents, level uneven sleeping ground, or shape a reflective heat wall behind a fire. All of it follows from the same idea. Move just enough dirt to make the landscape work for you. Knowing how World War II soldiers used the tool teaches you practical fieldcraft you can apply instantly. If you want a real, actionable exercise, take a simple, modern folding shovel into a patch of woodland and repeat the basic World War II methodology. Step 1. Locate the driest, highest ground in a small radius. Step 2. Dig a quick scrape large enough for your body. Step 3. Cut and shape 3 or 4 stakes to form a low lean-to frame. Step 4. Roof it with branches or a tarp. Step 5. Dig a small fire pit with a back wall and reflect heat toward your shelter. The E-tool remains relevant because its simplicity lets you master essential tasks without relying on gear. The tool isn't magic. What made it powerful was the soldiers who learned to extract every possible use from a single piece of iron and wood. They understood efficiency. They understood fatigue. And they understood that mastery of terrain was as vital as ammunition. When you use an E-tool today, you're not reenacting anything. You're tapping into a century of practical military fieldcraft that remains as effective now as it was under artillery fire. If you value deep, skill-based history like this, make sure you subscribe to the Iron Age Instincts. Share this guide with fellow enthusiasts, and keep pushing for real historical knowledge that actually strengthens your understanding of the past and how it applies in the field today.